So far we've learned about entrepreneurship and the different types of entrepreneurs. But why is entrepreneurship important? At its heart, entrepreneurship is important because it can have both a profound impact on regional economies, societies and technology exploitation, and on the personal growth of people involved. Understanding this helps explain the overall importance of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurs have a significant impact on regional economies because they create new jobs, increasingly important as larger companies are downsizing due to automation, outsourcing, or market changes. Entrepreneurs also take advantage of new opportunities or exploit gaps in the market, for example, bringing in new technology to market. Entrepreneurs also create wealth for shareholders and investors, and they create business for suppliers, including professional services. Importantly for the local economy, they do have a multiplier effect. People working in the company purchase local houses, products and services. And these factors combine together to have an enormous impact on regional wealth creation. Acknowledging that sometimes there are unintended negative consequences, such as an environmental impact or increased traffic congestion. Entrepreneurship also has a major impact on personal growth. Entrepreneurs find ways to create opportunities that would simply not be possible in a traditional company. Further, entrepreneurs often find their roles fulfilling and observe that they could not work for anyone else. In the words of Harold Tillman of 1871 in Chicago, entrepreneurship keeps you up at night and gets you up in the morning. We've talked about different types of entrepreneurs and their differences, but while entrepreneurs are all different, we do find some common entrepreneurial attributes: resourcefulness, action orientation, coachability, problem-solving ability, and optimism. Although each of these are things that you're born with, understanding and fine-tuning them can help you recognize your strengths and weaknesses and identify a way to improve those that are critical, either modifying your own behaviors or by finding a partner who aligns with your values and compensates for your weaknesses. Let's quickly discuss each of them. Resourceful people take advantage of what's available and nurture networks of people with access to those resources, such as money and expertise.
What if you start from a very resource-scarce beginning, which means you are starting an organization where there are no resources embedded. It is the entrepreneur, it is his or her personal resources, their personal cash, their social capital, their organizational capital, and they're building resources from generic resources into those resources that might be better applied to an organization. And so we wrote a paper based on case studies and based on the research that we had done that talked about how entrepreneurs build resource capabilities over time from that initial resource-scarce environment that they begin with. And so that paper has been translated into Portuguese and used by many, many entrepreneurs. And in fact, it becomes the basis of teaching modules that many of us have used. We start off by saying, okay, imagine you're starting a business tomorrow. What resources do you have that you could start that business with? And how would you develop those resources into unique combinations? So starting with your human capital, your social capital, your organizational capital, the money you have in the bank, the technology that you know, the furniture that you have in your basement. How do you take those resources and transfer those into an organization and start to grow that organization?
These networks might become useful in the future. Action-oriented people are able to make a decision and act quickly to gain advantage and achieve momentum based on limited information and rapid action. The slogan of entrepreneurs is often fire, ready, aim.
You have to think about taking action and trying something. And so, and I think of it as entrepreneurial behavior. It's not being an entrepreneur. It's not necessarily just starting a business. It's being entrepreneurial. And so the only way I can be entrepreneurial is if I take action and I do things that lead to some sort of outcome, some sort of new value creation, whether it's social or economic. So I have to take action that leads me to some kind of outcome. And that doing, I will either succeed or not succeed. I might learn, I might not learn, but that action and reflection that follows that is how I'm going to start to learn to be entrepreneurial. And so it's taking steps, it's doing things, it's action. And then you practice. You practice over and over again. If I want to learn how to play golf, I'm a golfer. And so when I first started playing golf, I made a lot of mistakes, but I kept trying and I took that action. And I would do something and I'd say, well, what is it that I'm doing wrong in my swing? And I'd reflect on that. And then you try something else. And so you do it and you learn from it. So do, learn, repeat.
Real entrepreneurs don't talk about risks, they talk about opportunities. They take calculated risks. So what we know about entrepreneurs is that they're high achievers. High achievers take calculated risks. Entrepreneurs take calculated opportunities. And they look at things in a very different way. There's always going to be people that are going to put roadblocks in your way. There's always going to be people that say why you can't do things. You need to do it, and you need to do it now. And that's the best advice I can give.
Entrepreneurs are coachable and know when to take advice from others and when to ignore it. Constantly, they're looking to improve their performance. They're able to pivot their businesses to increase the likelihood of commercial success and to adapt to new information. Being coachable means that the entrepreneur is able to listen and to absorb feedback, and they'll get a lot of it. Entrepreneurs are also good creative problem solvers. Armed with the same information as others, they see new opportunities, new connections, or new ways to overcome challenges. Entrepreneurs also have a certain amount of confidence, resilience, and optimism sufficient to overcome adversity and deal with setbacks. They invest time and money in anticipation of a positive outcome, which is the very definition of an optimist. Finally, and I would arguably add the most important, because I found it in part of my research, is that entrepreneurs are both trusting and trustworthy. Trusting is that they're willing to rely on other people, and trustworthy means that they act in a trustworthy manner. Both of these things are essential when building a team, attracting customers in advance of a solution. Inherently, trust is the lubricant that helps overcome the relationship risk. So let me talk about the 4 aspects of trust behaviors. The first behavior is trusting, the willingness to rely on somebody else. The next is trustworthy. That's, are you worthy of that trust? Do you behave in a way that meets that person's expectations? Capability is your, do you have the right skills to do that? You might be capable in one regard, but not in another. And finally, communications. In this lesson, we've dispelled some of the myths of entrepreneurship. We've clarified the different types of entrepreneurs and learned what it takes to be an entrepreneur. For those of you interested in entrepreneurship, in the next lesson, we'll look in more detail at the venture creation process, as well as the importance of understanding your own motivation and traits. A better understanding of both might influence your future career choices.